Hello everyone and welcome to Red String of Fate. I saw this game on itch.io or itch.io, however you say it, and I thought it seemed really interesting, so I thought I would play it. Let's get started. The thing behind it, I can't remember what it's called. The story behind it is really interesting. I tap my pen against my cheek, mumbling to myself as numbers race through my mind. That makes a total of $375. I get paid $9 an hour, so that means... I glance down at my notebook and quickly scroll down the calculations, probably using much more force than necessary out of frustration. Why are the textbooks for this year so horrendously expensive? Do they realise how many more shifts I have to cover just to make up for the dent in my wallet? Finally satisfied with my planning, I let my pen fall to the table with a loud clank, causing several people to turn their heads in my direction. I look up with a defiant gaze, and I end up meeting the eyes of a boy who's sitting a couple rows in front of me to the right. To my surprise, he looks extremely familiar. The same glint of recognition enters his eyes, which only serves to confuse me further. The drawing style is really interesting. It looks like somebody literally kind of drew it on paper and then somehow added it to this background, which is maybe exactly what happened, I don't know. It has like a very drawn look to it, like a hand drawing just done by pencil. I cock my head to one side, my brows furrowing. Do we know each other? The familiar stranger lifts his hand in an excited wave. The familiar stranger kind of seems like an oxymoron. Despite my usual conscious attempt to ignore the hundreds of red strings floating around me, I can't help but notice the frayed, thin red thread wrapped around the stranger's finger. Yeah, that's the word, the premise of the game. The premise is that she can see people's strings that kind of tie them to their soulmate. I think that's really interesting, and that's why I wanted to play it. Just like that, the pieces click in my mind. It's Aaron, isn't it? The nerd from the same high school I went to. Isn't he a year younger than me? How is he in college already? Aaron's lips twitch up into a warm smile when I lift my hand slightly in return, too embarrassed to wave back. He's clearly like a super genius then. His lips part and he seems to be mouthing something to me. My frown deepens as I try to decipher his silent message. Deep in concentration, I almost jump out of my skin when the professor's voice suddenly raises in volume, echoing in the room. Perhaps the two of you can resume your heartfelt reunion outside of the room. I wouldn't wish to interrupt, of course. My head snaps up at lightning speed, my face burning in embarrassment, and I notice Aaron turning back around with a horrified expression. No? Well then, will one of you be so kind as to answer my question then? I can only stare blankly back at him without a single clue what question he's referring to. Aaron seems to be in a similar predicament, and he's squirming so much in his seat from what is undoubtedly an unprecedented situation that I fear he'll fall to the floor soon. He said it's worth 60% of our grade for the course. I try not to let my surprise show when a low hiss drifts to my ears from behind me. Attempting to sound casual, I clear my throat and repeat what my anonymous saviour said. You said 60% of our grade for the course, right? The professor pauses and turns back to the projector screen with a nod, but not before shooting me one last warning glance. In relief, I twist around slightly to thank whoever it was that saved me from getting kicked out of class on my first day. Ooh, he's kind of cute. God, thank you so much. My voice trails off as I lose the ability to speak from the pure shock. The boy sitting behind me lifts his head slightly with a questioning look, brushing the hair out of his eyes. I can't remember what voice I did. You're welcome. What was that? Are you alright? His eyes fall to my finger for a brief second before his eyes darken in understanding. Oh. Recovering from my stunned speechlessness, I lower my voice to a hush and whisper urgently to him. My heart is pounding in my chest. You can see them too, can't you? I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, you obviously do, mate, 'cause you're sweating. His cold reply cut across the air, and I jerk back, my mouth closing uncertainly. She clearly hasn't learned anything from almost just getting in trouble with her professor. She's still talking. No, I can't be wrong. This is the first time I've seen anyone else without a vivid red string around their finger. His string is just like mine, so faint, so stretched, that it's invisible to the naked eye. My entire life I've been able to see everyone's red strings of fate, which is where the name comes from, which supposedly leads them to their fated soulmate. There are many states possible for someone's red string of fate. It took me years before I could hypothesize what they mean. Some people have strings a vibrant, sharp red, while others have strings as faint and thin as a ribbon. Some strings can be knotted or frayed or even broken. Some strings even lead back to the bearer themselves, ending tied around another finger on the same hand. Despite all that I've seen, I've never met someone else with a near invisible string until now. The way his eyes immediately flickered to my finger can only mean one thing. He's a seer like me. Them talking about strings is funny. This is really kind of off topic, but my grandma's mum, so I guess my great-grandma, used to talk about her fart string. I mean, I didn't know her, but my grandma says that she used to do that. So when they say string, it makes me think of that. Look, you don't have to lie to me. I can sit... He's looking at you again. I whirl back around to face the front of the room, both grateful for and irritated by his warning. Before I can decide what to do, there's a loud commotion around me as everyone starts chattering excitedly and leaving their seats. Huh? I glance at the projector screen at the front of the room and my heart sinks. It's a 3-person project that will last for 2 months, and it's worth 60% of our final course grade. This is what the question I answered was about? God, I can't read today. An exclamation of disbelief escapes my mouth. I quickly read through the topic and a hint of panic starts to bubble up inside me. This is a philosophy class. I swear I picked philosophy for all my generals courses, hoping to bluff my way through the essays. Why is the topic heavily related to science? I swear I can speak English, contrary to popular belief. I can almost see my GPA slipping away from me like a puff of smoke. I tried to calm myself with a few deep breaths. It's just a group project, Valerie. I'm sure you can ask someone who's good at science for... Aaron. At my barely restrained shout, the guy in question turns his gaze on me. He's standing alone awkwardly at the side, and his face lights up with a bright smile when we make eye contact. Hey, Val, do you want to be in a group together? Yes, I do. My knees almost weakening from the rush of relief, I hurriedly gather my belongings to rush to the seat next to his. As I'm about to leave, I suddenly remember the guy sitting behind me. I turn to see him scribbling away on his notebook without a care in the world, and he clearly has no intention to leave his seat to find a group. I need to learn more about him. He may be unwilling to talk to me about the one thing we have in common, but I'm not going to give up. Hey, do you want to be in a group with me? There will also be another guy. He's from my high school and he's really smart and great at science stuff. He'll be great to work with. So I think I'm probably gonna play all of this game. Like, I'm gonna do both romantic options, and I think we'll start with him. He meets my eyes, levelling me with a stare without a reply for a long moment. I start to shift my weight from one foot to another, uncomfortably waiting for a reply. Finally, he speaks. Okay. Thank you for inviting me. I'd be happy to accept. At a snail's pace, he begins to place his items into his bag to switch to another seat with me. The entire time he doesn't say a word to me. Unnerved by the awkward silence, I blurt out the first thing that pops into my head. I'm Valerie Wong. I'm a first-year student in journalism. What's your name? I don't think you've mentioned it yet. There's a tiny glint in his eyes that looks like surprise at my question. I'm Luke Hayden, second-year literature major. He doesn't seem inclined to speak again, and we both make the trip over to Aaron's seat in silence, so we have Aaron and Luke. Well, at least he's polite enough to answer when I ask him a question. Perhaps he's just a naturally quiet guy. What voice did I do? Val, hi! I'm so glad to see you, really! I'm sorry if I got you in trouble earlier. I was just really delighted that we actually share a class this year. Aaron leaps up from his seat as we approach, and he beams at me with enthusiasm. I'm glad to see you too, Aaron. I must say, I'm surprised. I thought you were a year below me. I graduated early, so I'm here now. Computer science. You? I give a low whistle, impressed. Journalism. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me be in a group with you. This guy behind me is Luke, and he wants to join us. Is that fine with you? Yes, of course. Why not? It's not like I know anyone else here. Relieved, I let myself collapse on the seat next to him. Thank you. God, am I happy to see you. Isn't this a philosophy class? Why in the world is this group project topic on science? Well, to be fair, it's more about evaluating and comparing scientific theories with ideas from philosophy, so it's not really on... He stops at my exasperated stare, and he flashes me a sheepish smile. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Let's get this started, shall we? Affected by his contagious enthusiasm, I can't help but smile back. Might as well. Aaron immediately launches into a speech about the various ideas he has come up with in the past 2 minutes since the professor announced the topic, and I find my mind drifting to the guy still sitting silently on my other side, writing away in his notebook. Luke Hayden, are you like me? Can you see the strings too? Why do we both have basically invisible strings? Where are our red strings of fate? They're connected. They're meant to be together. I'm sorry, I'm ready now. I scramble over to the table where Aaron and Luke are seated, blowing the stray strands of hair out of my face. I would love if this game just did a 180 and just the whole game it leads us on to think that we're pursuing one of these guys to date, and then these two, Luke and Aaron, end up getting together. That would be great. Aaron's book dangles loosely in his hand as he speaks to a pretty girl standing next to him. He appears to be stuttering, tripping over his tongue, and he has such a love-struck expression that I find myself smirking. So the rumours are true. Aaron's heart really is easily captured. Luke notices my arrival first, and he meets my eyes for a brief second before nodding and returning his gaze to his notebook. She's here. At Luke's quiet announcement, Aaron jumps in his seat, immediately whirling around to give me a warm smile, even as his cheeks are tinted with a slight shade of pink. Right, yes, Val, you're here, sorry. I'll catch you later, Aaron. Oh, you're leaving? I mean, I'm sure you have something better to do. All right, I'll see you around then, Fiona. The girl leaves with a wave. It's Fiona from Tales from the Borderlands. And Aaron stares after her, retreating back before turning to me with an embarrassed smile, his cheeks tinted red. I'm sorry, did I interrupt? No, I just met her 5 minutes ago. It was just a casual conversation, nothing more. Is it just me, or does he seem saddened by that? Are you sure there's nothing more to it? He seems startled by my teasing grin, and his flush deepens. Please observe silence at all times. Did you not notice how gorgeous she is? She's way out of my league. So yes, I'm certain there is nothing more to it. He pauses before seemingly unable to restrain himself from adding to his sentence. But did you see her smile just now? My God, I swear my heart stopped when she flashed those dimples at me. So she is clearly not an important enough character to warrant her own character model. Or drawing. I smirked to myself, shaking my head in amusement. He only met her 5 minutes ago and he is already infatuated. Without meaning to, my eyes flicker to his hand. The faint red thread around his ring finger is frayed at the end, where it simply just stops, floating in the air and connected to no one but Aaron. A wave of pity rushes over me. Does he know? Does he know that his soulmate is lost to him in this lifetime? That she's passed away? Shit. Even if he doesn't, could this be one of the reasons why his heart seems so easily swayed? How does it even work when one's red string of fate is broken? Next to me, Luke shifts in his chair, and when I look at him, I can tell he's avoiding my eyes. He must have noticed I was staring at Aaron's finger and guessed what I was thinking. Luke must know what a broken string means too. It merely takes 2 seconds to search on the internet to find out that, according to legend, a red string of fate can bend or stretch but never break. It takes fewer than 2 seconds to realise that legends aren't always right, and those walking on the streets with their red string of fate broken is all the proof we need. Aaron's voice brings me out of my thoughts. Anyways, sorry about that. Hey, Val. That voice would take anyone out of their thoughts. Oh, yeah, hey. I'm sorry I was late. I got tied up at work. They literally tied me up. It was torture. Literally. Don't worry, it's fine. These things happen. We should probably head to the room we booked before the library gives it to someone else, though. Oh, right. I almost forgot about that. The three of us stand up in unison and start moving towards the private study rooms. On our way, Aaron begins making conversation, his earlier desolation vanishing. "So, Val, we didn't realise you worked here at the library." "Yeah, it's a part-time job. I need the money." "Does it even pay well?" "What do you think?" He grins in response to my wry look and pulls the door open, gesturing for me to enter the room first. Aaron lets out a low whistle as he and Luke follow me into the study room, examining our surroundings. Luke doesn't react, but I notice a glint of amusement in his eyes and a slight upwards twist of his lips. Clearly, as a second-year student, he's been in these rooms before, and he's amused at our reactions. "Nice place. I didn't expect the library rooms to look so fancy." "They certainly didn't back in our high school." We share a quick grin at the memory of the cramped, dusty old library rooms. "No wonder it was so difficult to book a room. Speaking of which, Val, since you're working in the library, do you get any privileges? Say, in booking these rooms?" He eyes me with an expectant look, and I can only laugh helplessly, throwing my hands up in the air. "I don't know. I've only been working here since August. I'm not sure if I get any privileges or not. I'll try and ask." Pulling out a chair, I fall into the seat with a loud exhale of exhaustion. I give myself one heartbeat to close my eyes and rest before straightening, regarding my groupmates with a hopefully bright smile. "Alright, so fill me in first. What did I miss?" "Nothing. We wanted to wait for you before we began our discussion." "Oh." Pleased, I give him a nod of gratitude. "Thanks. I'm sorry about the delay. We can start any time now. Whoops." At some point during my brief conversation with Aaron, Luke has already retrieved his notebook from his pocket and resumed scribbling in it after grabbing a seat for himself. As though feeling my expectant stare burning a hole in the crown of his head, Luke lowers his pen and flips his notebook closed. "Yes, please begin whenever." "Right, where did we leave off a few days ago? Have you guys considered the ideas I suggested? Which one do you prefer?" I pull out my laptop from my backpack and flip it open, opening the document Aaron emailed to me yesterday. I make a face at all the unfamiliar scientific terms. "Well, I was thinking maybe we can choose to do the project on the origins of the human race. The evolution theory, maybe? It seems like it would be the easiest out of all the possible topics, especially since we can compare it with a religious view." "Are you sure? I have a feeling a lot of groups will be doing the same topic, and it will be harder to stand out if we want that A. I suppose we can try to go deeper into the subject and explore the more complicated parts. I mean, we could probably not only talk about Darwinian evolution, but also discuss a bit about intelligent design theory and..." I can only give him a blank stare, blinking as he continues on for a long minute, spouting nothing but jargon that I can't even wrap my mind around. "You lost us at complicated." Aaron breaks off with an apologetic smile, and I can't help but chuckle. God damn, I can't read today. "Well, at least one of us knows what we're doing." "I'm sorry. I'll try to explain it again in a clearer way that's easier to understand." "No, please don't. It's fine." "Oh, no, please don't. It's fine." I can hardly bite back a smile at Luke's hasty reply. It's clear he's not eager for a repeat of Aaron's scientific explanations. I bet Luke is actually really smart and he already knows what's happening, but he just doesn't want to say anything. "Well, Aaron first, do you think we should go with this topic? I know you said it might not be a good choice because it will undoubtedly be popular." He frowns, pondering my question for a moment. "I don't know. It's not something I would personally choose, but it's doable as well, of course." We continue discussing about various aspects of the project, debating about the advantages and disadvantages of each topic. As expected, Luke rarely speaks, more of an observer than a participant, but when he does chime in, he usually says something surprisingly insightful. It's clear Aaron's respect for Luke has grown enormously from the way he's clapping Luke on the back warmly as he stands up to leave at the end of our meeting. "Good work today, everyone. Thank you. That was quite fun." Well, fun isn't really the word I'd use to describe the project, but you're right. It was a good discussion. Thank you. You two are brilliant. To my surprise, Aaron actually blushes at my compliment, and he stammers through his response. "I didn't really do anything. You came up with really good ideas yourself." Anyways, I should probably run. See you tomorrow, Val. He practically trips over his feet as he scurries away towards the exit, leaving Luke and I staring bemusedly after him. Just crashes through the wall. There's like a hymn-shaped hole in the wall. There's a beat of silence before Luke also stands up from his chair, gathering his belongings into his backpack. It's time for me to leave as well. Thanks for the hard work today. Wait! The word tumbles out of my mouth before the thought even forms clearly in my mind. Luke peeks up at me from behind his messy hair, falling into his eyes with a questioning look. Yes? I'll walk with you. His hands pause in their motions for a moment before he shrugs and slings his backpack across his shoulder. Sure, why not? Are you heading home now? Hurriedly sweeping my items into my bag, I rush over to him where he's standing by the table, waiting for me. I fall into step beside him and we walk out of the room together. Okay, I think I'm going to end this video here. I'm not sure how long it's been going, but I feel like it has been quite a while already. I think we're going to go for Luke first, and then we'll do Aaron. It sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Like we'll pursue them. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.